clearing the lens out so it's nice and clean. Let me find my stand, which is way over there. Don't know why, but it is way over there. Ugh. There, because my cat coming out to figure out how to get in some trouble. All right, let's talk about change. Let's talk about what I've been thinking about last couple of weeks on where I need our technology to be at and where I'm definitely going to be going with it. Because we have a whole new form of technology that no one else is out there doing at the end of the day. Now, despite the naysayers and haters that are upset and bitter by our work, it is what it is. Our work is like no other. And I just, old contacts have been popping up and contacting us. Just bumped into an old contact that had many years back. And which is fantastic, you know. And on top of that, I can talk about, you know, our products and, you know, things we do now that are way, way different than what we do when we started off making green screen paint products. That's how it all started. It started with gray screen paint products, not gray screen paint products, and that's how I started my business. So we're looking at our new technology, which allows us to be able to treat our screens, our technology, just like a TV. I've heard this so many times, and I've been on so many different forum sites. I hear the same thing, just like a TV, just like a TV, just like a TV. But every time I look at the demonstrations on the projectors and the setup, it's a dark environment. It's a projector environment, but claiming to be a TV setup, and that's not TV setup. TV setup, like my monitor I have here, can operate in a fully lit environment. I never have to worry about the screen washing out or fading. I don't have to worry about any of those things that I would worry about with a projection screen. That's the thing right there. So, you know, you can make all the high-tech projectors you want. The problem you're going to have is that they're still going to react the same way as a traditional projection screen, which is made to be stuck in a dark environment. And the screen's washing out. The contrast doesn't pick up. You have problems with contrast. You know, you got to go through these painstaking hurdles and jumps in order to get it to function correctly, like calibrating, darkening your environments. These are things you never do with a TV, ever. I've never seen anybody, I've never walked in and bought a TV and heard somebody saying, hey, look, when you use this, the colors may not come out well if you turn your lights on. You're going to have to calibrate the TV. You're going to have to buy this more advanced model over here that has a higher contrast, so you can produce better contrast. You know, you can't have your lights on with this. You put your lights on, you know, you run the chance of your screen washing out. You've never heard that ever with a TV. Never, ever with a TV. So the problem you have here is that you have a lot of screens out there claiming to be TV-like worthy. A lot of projectors claiming to be TV-like worthy. But here's the kicker. TVs, like my monitor over here, doesn't spend time in the dark. It doesn't need to. I never have to worry about ever turning out the lights because this thing's going to wash out on me, ever. So if that's the case, how can you call your products TV worthy? The more and more advancements they put on these projectors, like I said, the P2. Look at the insane specifications on a P2 projector. It has 1.7 billion colors, a 2 million to 1 contrast, a tri-laser LCD? No, tri-laser, sorry, 4K projector. This is a powerful piece of equipment. And yet, the people I see with these machines are embedded in complete darkness, trying to give off the illusion that an environment is well lit when it is completely dark. You know darn well you don't operate, your living room would never look that way. So, with that being said, I've seen it with the Epson 800, I've seen it with Samsung's, LG's, you name it. I've seen it in all types of different sorts of projectors. It's the same traditional nonsense. A little sprinkle of light in the corner over here. We'll put some lights at the bottom there. We'll put the condensed lighting over there. Come on, that's not even realistic. My environment would never even look like that. So, the fact that you have to come down a couple of notches on a machine that's supposed to be futurist, a future technology, and you literally have to so darken your environment. It's like going back to the caveman era. It's like removing all the light source from the earth And we just go back, well, with no such thing as cavemen, but you know I'm getting at in that theory. Going back to that era where basically electricity didn't even exist. You literally just went 2 steps backwards on a machine that's designed to do something that you will never see the capabilities of what that machine can do, which is pretty sad. So, you don't have TV-worthy technology. Now, us on the other hand, we do. Because we can push a screen through a window, we can project them off ceilings, we can operate them off floors. Heck, I even walk through an entire commercial environment. I'm in one right now. And I can operate in this environment on projectors that 50 to 300 lumens, even one with a 6000K light system embedded into the screen. Not on the back of the screen, not under the screen, in the screen. Our stuff can operate just like TVs. You see my customers are outside. Most people, when they get their products, are inside. Worrying about the curtains, worrying about the windows, worrying about the overhead lights. My customers are outside. That tells you the massive impact. So here I am trying to figure out a way how to separate ourselves from the traditional projection screen, but still be projection screen. So we're claiming our technology to be TV light, because that's what it is. We do stuff that no other screen can do, including doing the one thing that a projection screen fears the most is direct sunlight. Not, I've seen people fake this demonstration on so many levels. It's embarrassing. Just stop it. You want direct sunlight, stick it outside, right in front of your window. You'll get plenty of sunlight. It'll strike the screen. You'll see exactly what it does. Not hide in a corner somewhere in an apartment. That's not direct sunlight. You see the demonstration I did where the screen was actually front and rear? You see the sunlight that filtered through that screen? You're going to have invisible technology to show that you can take a direct hit from sunlight, because it literally has to filter through the screen and hit the back of the screen to show that the back of the screen is actually showing sunlight casting through it. You got to be to do that. Not the same. Ugh. Anyway, so I'm changing we're pulling away from that. That's the same thing we went into ambient light rejection. I saw so many fake ambient light rejection demonstrations. These must be ambient light rejection screens, and you're dark and you're stuck in a controlled environment. That's not the same thing. How is a controlled environment the same as ambient light rejection? It doesn't make any sense at all, period. So, no, you don't have it. I got tired of it, and we don't want to be a part of that anymore. So we started developing our own technology, advanced ambient light rejection, which you see the demonstrations off of that. We display off ceilings with that technology at 180 inches off a ceiling. And we can do this with a projector that costs far less for the consumer, which means if we're doing this at the end of the day, we're not buying high-end projectors to get our screens to be able to produce high-end images. We don't need that. I literally had a couple conversations with some overseas friends of mine, and we're talking about the technology, and they were on one of the pages I have on Facebook checking it out. He said, "You've got to be kidding me." So what kind of projectors are you running over there? I said, "These projectors cost us under $200. And these are guys that got massive, big boy projectors. They got projectors worth $500,000. And like, you gotta be kidding me. You're running that off projectors under 200? Yeah, and the projector you just saw in the demonstration, that was 300 lumens. The ones we had sitting on the desk are 50 lumens, and the one that took the direct hit from the sunlight through a window was 50 lumens. It's a game changer. Because that means now the consumer no longer has to be trapped in a dark environment with a bunch of excuses like, this is where you gotta be at, because if you're not in here, your screen doesn't work. None of that nonsense. And the reason why people who make products are ruffled, or their feathers are ruffled by this, because now they got to up their game, and they got to up their game on our level, which again, if you've seen the kind of stuff that we do, it's kind of an impossible task to hit. My people I do business with, they see them, they say, yeah, we see your haters out there. That's all they got. They got nothing. Yeah, they know who you are, they know what you have, they know you have nothing. If you did have something in the business world, you would come at us with something. You would show you had a product that actually did the same thing we did. Not some fake black paint you paint on a wall that can't keep its color correctly and keeps turning gray. Not that mess. That's a hot mess. Those products like that, they don't last long. They're there 1 minute and they're gone the next. They don't last long. I've seen them. I've seen dozens of them. They don't last long. So they don't have the backing. They have a little show they can put on. That's basically about it. But other than that, it's all fake. It's like You see a house for sale, you go to buy it, it's like a giant mansion, but you look behind, it's a little tiny shack. They have that kind of appearance when they sell their products. So when they have to go against a real deal company, they don't last long. Or if they have to be tested, or they have to go distributorship, contracts, stuff they would need at the end of the day, and these are people I do business with, and you would need these requirements showing your stuff works, they can't do it. So they can't even go anywhere. A house of cards, pretty much is what it is. But anyway, so we don't want to be in that tradition. The more and more fake products I see every single day, these dark environments, we don't want to be a part of that. We're changing to TV projection technology because that's exactly what we do. That's why we don't require high-end expensive projectors to fix the problem that a lot of these screens have today. That's why they suggest you buy 4K, because they know the resolution and all that is going to be poor on the screen if you use a 720p or anything under that. That's why they advise you to spend money for projectors with really high inky contrast levels to fix what their screen can't read, and then still stick you in a dark environment and calibrate the machine that has billions of colors attached to it. So we don't want to be a part of that anymore, because that's embarrassing for my company. I don't want to be a part of that. And for any company, at the end of the day, if you feel 100% that we're in your field, I'll take that 15% behind me, and I can come in and I guarantee you, I can wipe everything you have on your website, your company, whatever product you have, clean. Because that 15% back there is a monster. And that thing does stuff that no other screen does. I was showing some people demonstrations at 300 lumens through 6K of light. And you got projectors up here at 3,000 lumens hugging a screen, and they can't even produce in a fully lit environment with all of that power. Big difference. So, all my demonstrations in here, any other demonstrations I've been at, we've always had full lighting. We never dim this and dim that. As a matter of fact, I do literally so much demonstrations with the lights on. We get people screaming at us about turning lights off. And even with the lights out, this technology right here can bleed the color out of a gray screen with a cell phone flashlight, which I showed them in a demonstration. They're like, good gracious. Like, yeah, bleed a gray screen, clean out. This one over here can blend into a gray screen. The Quantums can do it. This one behind us, the tiles can basically alter and change a gray screen to make it look completely unwatchable. And it doesn't make a difference what color. You go lighter, your white levels fail, your contrast fails, your color fails against it. You go darker, your white levels fail, your contrast fails, your colors fail. You can't get around them. Can't get around them. And it did it at 300 lumens. It was able to zap the screen. Now I'm going to be doing a pre-demonstration of that because I'm sending it out to some people that want to see more on this technology. We're looking at roughly somewhere between the end of the year when we'll have the technology ready, because again, we have a lot of testing, we have a lot of stuff we want to work with it. I want to see what it does. Every time we turn around, we add something to it, we put it on something, it alters into something completely different. So we got to study all that. There's a lot of research behind all that. What else? We're still waiting for documents to come back. Very important. We get our documents back. We need our patents. We need our trademarks. We need our copyrights. We need all that stuff. Because as you can clearly see why we need it, because we have individuals that were touching our copyrights without our permission, and it's the reason why we're going to end up in federal. We're going to federal court over this mess, because somebody felt the need to touch things that didn't belong to them. And that's all the more why we're locking everything down. Not just for people like him, but for any companies that make it the dumbest idea, like, I'm just got a YouTube guy at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure it's stuff that's not locked in. Let's go mess with it. Yeah, you'll find out. You'll definitely find out. So, yeah. So, as I said before, that's why we're locking everything down, and we're not launching anything. We're not launching any of the new technology until we get everything locked in. Like the dummy label? It's nice, ain't it? Yeah, I just did that a few minutes ago. That's one thing I love about having my business run through Jesus. He gives us the name of our technologies. He gives us the design and artwork. All that stuff comes from God. Everything we have in here is from Jesus. Everything we have. And as I sat there and said, like I said, I sat there in the middle for what did I say? I told you I was going to repeat this over and over again. See, it's interesting. When we have people who claim that we're these things at the end of the day. But when we make these statements and we come out victorious on top of this, then they get even madder. They get more upset now. You get mad. Didn't I just say that? What did I just say in the middle of this for? What did I just say? I sat there and said, if I was this person, then may the Lord take it from me. May he curse us. Our technology advanced by so much. It is not, you don't even know how deep the rabbit hole goes on how advanced this technology took off. You're just seeing what you're seeing. You don't even know the other half of it, of what my Lord's showing me, of how advanced this technology is. It is way up there. So that's when I sit there and I watch these demonstrations on people trying to reach us. It's kind of like the big brother and little sister scenario, you know, where a little big brother grabs something from the little sister and he's holding it up high and they're grabbing for it, but they can't reach it. You are so far out of reach, it is not even funny, where you don't even exist. We're in a whole different, separate universe beyond another universe. You're not even close to where we come up at. Not even close. And we got a guy screaming in an apartment, had a ceiling and a wall. And we can draw in direct sunlight at 50 lumens. I didn't even think that was even possible until I saw it happen. I was like, yeah. I'd have never picked that up. It never would have crossed my mind to use a 50 lumen projector, but the Lord said use it. And that's what we did. We used it. Because usually, you're talking about sunlight. You know how power runs through sun. You're talking about 100,000 to 200,000 lux of direct sunlight, and it took it in at 50. The last time we hit it with AdTech, it was 5,200 lumens that was sitting behind that screen. And even 5,200 lumens is low, because projectors that do that are somewhere, would try to do it, are somewhere between 50 to 100 lumens, 100,000 lumens. They're way up there. These are big boy projectors, Roadhouse projectors, projectors that literally come in furniture-sized suitcases. Those things they use. But you're talking about 50 lumens to 52. That's when the guy was when I first showed him the image. He was like, 5,200 lumens. You got that to run through 5,200 lumens? That's crazy. We have projectors way past that. And they have complications out there with the sun. Yeah, we got it at 52. And now we got one at 50. So, knowing that the technology picks up on that level, knowing we can get them to generate in environments with no problem, fully lit commercial environments, lets us know 100% that we have a TV technology. Of course, we've been showing it all for years. We've been showing our products. Screen paint's going against TVs all the time. We do it on fully lit environments. One of the things I find the most hilarious is when I see people saying, oh, I got TV quality screen paints, and you'll be in a dark environment. You know why they're in a dark environment? Because their screen can't survive in a well-lit environment like the TV. That's why they darken the environment to try to make it look like, hey, I'm in the same environment with the TV. They darken the environment for the projection screen. The TV doesn't need the environment to be darkened. You can take that TV outside and it'll run. That's being done for the projector. You're supposed to have the same lighting that you would have if you're watching a TV. Stick the projector in the TV environment, not the TV in the projector's environment. That's what they do. We catch them every time doing that one. Look, it looks just like a TV. And it's not just one person. I've seen a lot of people do that on the YouTube field trip. I saw so many people do that demonstration. It's not even funny. One guy had a gray screen trying to match an OLED. Why? Why would you even do that? Do you know what OLED produces? Infinity 1 contrast level? There is no way in the world that gray screen would ever match that TV. That's why they keep it on these bright colors. But even in the bright colors, I can see the difference between the two TV and the screen. And in a darkened environment, says, look, this is the way it looks. It looks just like a TV. Man, if you don't cut that nonsense out, I swear, I got to hire somebody just to do a segment that just redo the demonstrations they do, but stick them in actual realistic environments that we all live in. We got to out these people. This is what I'm talking about. This is why, again, when it came to ambient light rejection technology, I saw so much of this crap. I was like, we're done. I don't even want to be attached to this mess anymore. We got to come up with something new. We're making our own game, and that's how that started. That's a little kind of separate. Now with these so-called fake TV projection setups we're seeing now, we're separating from that. Because now we don't want to be known as a projection screen, TV projection screens. That's what we want to be known as, TV. Because that's how we label ourselves now. Oh, my goodness. It's frustrating. You know, it's funny because I used to think Gordon Ramsay was a jerk. I used to think he's screaming and yelling at people and like, this guy's a freaking jerk. But then when you look at this guy at the end of the day, this guy is really passionate about his food. He really does. This is a man who really, really is passionate about cooking. He loves what he does. When you're passionate about love, you love what you do, you can't stand it when somebody comes along and butchers it. Especially when they know at the end of the day that they can do much better than that, and they still manage to butcher it. And this is what I see in these screen paints and products today. They can do far better than that. But they use the excuses of, well, we got to be in a dark environment anyway, so and we got to calibrate. They know they got to calibrate, knowing that you're going to push the customer to calibrate dark environments and all other nonsense that comes along with it. It's stupid, and they all keep following the same thing. They all follow the same bell. It's like watching a dog chase his tail. You all do the same thing. You don't do nothing different. It's the same thing. I've been watching the same thing since I have been on YouTube. It's the same thing. You literally do the same stuff from 11 years ago. The same dark environments. It's the same thing I see now. So how in the world we keep coming up with these more advanced projectors, but it's the same demonstrations? You ever look at the demonstration from the P1 to the P2? They're the same thing. Except for the promo demonstrations. I don't see anybody beating the promo demonstration. We beat Optima's promo demonstration. I beat your promo demonstration for the P2. With an Optima GT 5500, I took it outside. That projector is only designed to do 100 inches. I was at 140 inches. My screen was bigger than the P2. The P2 does 120. And I was able to generate outside with no problem. Outside, not inside, outside. So I beat the promo demonstration for the Optima GT 55, 56, and the P1 and P2. Anyone beat their promo? You seen their promo demonstration for the Optima? It comes up automatically on my account. Anyone see that thing? I don't see anyone doing the exact same thing that they did. No, days we won, it doesn't pop up. Optima P2. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, come on, man. You spent that much money for a projector? And I'd be so ticked off if I spent that much money for a projector and I turn my lights on, my screen washes out. I'm watching it better on my cell phone than I'm watching it on the projector. That's pretty bad. That is really bad. This is a laser projector at that. Let's not forget. It's laser. Right? There's one right there in the dark. Quick. So, for people sit there and say, well, I had a buddy of mine saying, well, that's just how it is. Look at that. That's right there from the door, sitting in the dark. You know how sad that is? That's supposed to replace a TV. That's how sad that is. That's a P1. How in the world is it's in that setting? And it's supposed to replace a TV. Now, is it the projector's fault? No, it's not the projector's fault. Projector companies are just doing what they do. They're designing their screens, but that's what they're doing at the end of the day. It's the screen company's fault. People who make the screens, it's your fault at the end of the day. I can take a projector over there. See that projector sitting over there? That projector over there cost me $60. That projector has more demonstrations and fully lit environments than a P2 by itself. At 150 inches. On that projector over there. Far bigger, larger, and able to produce. Pick up at 180 V. Anyway, anywhere I go in the environment, picks up colors, the whole 9 yards, can knock out certified, the whole thing. That projector only has a 4,000 to 1 contrast sitting on top of it. That's it. But next to these black screens at the end of the day, it has a contrast level literally higher than your P2. And when he wants to sit there and go, oh, but no, how is that possible? That's an infinity black technology sitting back there where your P2 has a 2,000,001, which means it has a rating on it. That back there doesn't have a rating. That makes that projector have an Infinity One attached to it. It upgrades its contrast capabilities. Comes down to the screen. It's supposed to be the perfect marriage made in heaven, but unfortunately, a lot of these screens out here are getting projectors and screens are having divorces because I can see left and right the screens are just not working. Let's go over. Let's see here. People saying, "Well, what about you?" No, there is no what about me. I've got demonstrations you would not even believe. Like right now, you see this projector right here? That's a Cumi. That's a 300 lumen projector. Do you see how that looks in my environment? See the distance I'm sitting at? You're on ultra short throw. You are literally on top of your screen at 3,000 lumens and you can't read in a fully lit environment. So how would that make that TV? Heck, my monitor over here can do better than your projector. That cost me 75 bucks. I don't know. Now you see the light we have in here? This would kill your projector screen. It would kill it. It's a lot of light. Commercial. It's on right now. Commercial environment. It's on. See? Alright, let me get something here. I need to have my lights on because it's not fully lit yet. We got a LED system in there. A LED system. So, that is 6K of LED lights. They are the brightest lights you can get. And things called headaches. I mean very serious headaches. I got a headache yesterday operating them. I got a headache right now looking at them. They're that bright. The cell phone lights, which I've seen people trying to do those by saying we had the same thing. No. Cell phone lights are about 500 watts. There's no way in the world you're going to be staring at that through a cell phone. That's basically mess your vision up. That's way too bright. 6,000K. And a cell phone ring light, yeah, you would have all types of headaches all day. That's really super bright. Our projector is 300 lumens. So it's traveling across, striking the screen with the light we have in the environment over here. We call it the UFO, and able to read with no problem whatsoever. It can read a star field. I can put a gray screen in the middle of that. It doesn't even function. So this is the reason why we're changing over our technology and we're calling our stuff, dubbing it TV technology. Because I can operate in here at 300 lumens. I just did a demonstration at 350 and 25. Our projectors don't even run in full mode. They run in all in eco mode because we don't have to because the screens are that powerful. Not required. The only way you can dub yourself worthy as TV worthy technology and projection, you have to do stuff like this. If you can't do this, you don't have it. If you have to darken, you have to put the TV in a dark environment, much like your projector, you don't have it. If you have to spend the money for advancement, for high-end machines and all this stuff, you definitely don't have that technology at all, period. You know, it keeps up. We're going to have to start walking people in courtrooms. I'm just serious. I'm going to do like Epson's do. I'm going to start challenging companies. Because there is no way in the world you're going to clutter my space with that nonsense at the end of the day by saying that, oh, we have TV technology. We pull 100 Infinity 1 contrast levels. We pull accurate color. No, the freak you do not. If you're in a dark environment, that tells a lot about the screen when you're sitting in a dark environment. That tells a lot about your screen. What is going on with your screen that you have to be in an environment where it's that dark? What's wrong with the lighting you have in the environment that could affect your screen? All right, let's get a little more understanding here. And on top of that, the sad part about it with some of these projectors is the fact that when they tell you that you can get all that from a white screen, even though you spend a lot of money for a projector, no, that is just not going to happen. Can't call yourself TV worthy. I got people that'll run out and try to do this demonstration. How about you do us a favor? We got over 100 matching better demonstrations, probably way more than that now. How about you complete all of them? Complete all the demonstrations, all the matching betters. Oh, another thing too, on top of that. You do know when you copy my company's name, you advertise for my company. You do that, right? Thank you for the free advertisement. I appreciate it. Because that's why we have the matching betters. The matching betters at the end of the day show that you can't do it. That's why we have them out there. Because it shows you can't do those demonstrations. So if you're going to copy my company's name, that means at the end of the day that people are going to expect you to have the same thing we have. And they're going to go to your YouTube channel and find out you just sort of ranting about us all day long, not showing any progress, not showing any new products, nothing at all. Just the same old. They're going to pretty much figure at the end of the day our stuff is kicking the daylights out of you. So you know what they're going to do? They're going to investigate me. When they investigate me, they're going to find all these amazing demonstrations that we do on so many different levels that they're going to compare us to you and find out you don't do the same thing we do. You're just a troll, a copycat. Like a person makes a bootleg version of a Gucci. Not even a good version of it either. Period. You know, you get the Air Jordan sneakers and you can tell they're bootleg because Michael Jordan, like he's playing tennis instead he's playing dunking a basketball. And you know they're fake from the door. You can see right there from the door. Like, Michael Jordan doesn't play tennis. You're like the tennis version of Michael Jordan's. So people can see it a mile away. So when you copy our name, you advertise for my business. Because what happens is they go in and see that and they go, okay, let me go check them out. When you say that we're scammers and rip-off artists, they come and check my stuff out. Then they go check you and do a comparison. That's what people do when they shop. They do comparisons. Like, wow, this guy's doing all these demonstrations on this level, and this guy's doing nothing. Oh, I see what's going on over here. He's upset and angry. There you go. So you advertise them. You bring business my way. He bought a lot of business away when he had his eBay account. He was posting on that's why he got eBay account got banned, because we contacted eBay because he was you can't use eBay to slander other companies. It's one of their policies. You can't do that. They terminated an account. But anyway, he was saying that our product was bad and this, that, and the other. And people were going to our website and the guy with the content said, yeah, I saw that. I went over to your site. Man, your website, our website is absolutely gorgeous. It is gorgeous. I built that site too on top of that. It's gorgeous. And they're going to say, wow, the difference, how you got everything specified, how it's categorized, everything, I can tell right from the door. It's a jealousy thing. You advertise for it. You bring us money. Because the more hatred you put out, the more it churns in the business for me. Now, like I said, they came back to my site and I was doing exactly as you claimed. My stuff was coming out too dark and down. Yeah, it's a different story. But looking at my customer reviews and all that stuff, companies we do business with, yeah, if my stuff came out that dark, that means all my customers would have the same exact problem too. So they can clearly see from the door, he's a hater. And I've got that from so many people who have contacted us about these individuals. Yeah, you advertise for me, you bring me money. So you keep it up. I don't know how long you're going to be around, but any future ones, you'll just keep it up. I got a showroom pretty soon. I'm expecting you to advertise for me. Because again, advertising is expensive. But you haters can advertise for me, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, you help me in my business. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah! Yeah, they help me. Don't let. I had so many people come to me one time and say, yeah, this guy barking all this trash about you. I want to come see what you guys like. Man, you guys got some stuff over here. Yeah, we do. In the last couple of weeks, what did I post? Invisible technology, visual effect technology, floor projection technology, our screen paint technology we have over here, several different versions of ad tech, screens absorbing sunlight, screens in boardrooms. I was in a guy's a conference room. All that. Multiple switching back and forth. The flex technology, we built a couple of computers over here and put the flex on them. And what have they done in the timeline? And we've been doing all that stuff. Complaining about everything we do. That's all they've been doing. There you go, hater. That's how you expose your haters. That's what you do. You go out and you do your thing. That's all you got to do. Just do your thing. That's all you got to do. You do your thing on all the different levels that you do. And they'll just run behind you and just hate on you. And the thing about that, the beautiful thing about that is, it's not a bad thing. What it is that people will see that, wow, this guy is doing all this stuff, and this guy is just saying the same thing over and over again. You don't produce any new products. You don't do anything new. It's just the same old rant on the same old stuff that you had, like, what, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years ago? So you can see the jealousy level there. And then we come out and do this, because every time the camera comes on, we do something different. Now, this is my display for this week. 300 lumen projector, fully lit in commercial environment, 6000K halo system on the QME projector Q2 at 300 lumens. And I can bleed your screen out on this technology. Any gray screen, go on this technology. I like this whole fish tank thing though. But anyway, yeah. So that comes from there. Now, moving on to basically our name change. Yeah. So we got to get something. The Lord already tells and directs us where we need to go, what we need to go, we need to do within the day. And for some people say, oh, he's changing his name because, no, my technology evolves. We don't have the same stuff every single day. Our stuff evolves. Like getting a shark to pop through a floor, which is actually pretty cool. God, so many people get tickled pink over that one. They love the shark. But anyways, I told you, gray and white screen can't do it because they can't pick up the blue. They can't read it. Useless. Projector mapping applications. What do they know about projector mapping applications? Ask them. Say, hey, tell me about projector mapping application. I bet you they can't tell you a thing. Because it doesn't work. Never. I hope they haven't been selling that gray paint and telling people that it works with projector mapping applications, because that would be a lie. Because it doesn't. But anyway, it is what it is. We're going to be separating. We're going to be going over to TV technology. That's what I'm going at. Because again, how can I explain this the best way? Can a gray screen compete with an OLED? No. Why? Can't read the contrast levels. It doesn't have the high enough gain to support a fully lit environment. An OLED can run in here with no problem. Gray screen can't run in here because it can't read anything at all. It won't be able to read. The lights in here will cancel it out, so that's not going to work. Number one is going to be a contrast level. I go to OLED forum sites all the time and I ask them, hey, how come you guys don't have projection screens? Got these giant speakers in here. We call it the Stonehenge effect. But you got these little tiny TVs in here, even though they're 80 inches, but compared to what you get off a projection screen, that's still small to us. And they said, well, I don't want to go near a projection screen. I said, why not? I said, well, I got to be in the dark all day. I don't want to be in the dark all day. If I turn my lights on, my color washes out no matter what projector I buy. I got to sit there and spend all this money anyway. I might just get a TV instead. There ain't wrong on that. Contrast level is not there. I got an OLED. My contrast is 100%. He's not lying on that one either. Tell me where you can get a gray screen to run on the screen sizes we have here, any size whatsoever. I showed you on a Pico projector at 50 lumens, right on top of the screen. A gray and white screen can't read it. So again, they are right on that 100%. So how are you going to replace a TV such like the OLED if you can't read the contrast levels to begin with? And TV owners don't want to be stuck in dark environments. They don't want that nonsense at all, period. So how is that going to work? So our technology is the only one that has that capability, because our technology at the end of the day can operate in fully lit environments. Heck, we can even go outside where an OLED can't even go. How much money a weatherproof OLED would cost you? Yes, it's staggering how much it would cost you. We can go at 250 inches. Can they do a 250-inch OLED outside? At a 16:10 aspect ratio? Woo, man, that's some serious cash. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's crazy. We could do it for cheap. I could do that easy for like what? Under what? $250? Roughly under with a $50 projector, a 2-time projector. So roughly under $400. Yep. And because of our technology makes any projector look absolutely incredible, which means our customers are not forced into buying machines they don't need. Like my $50 projector over there, my $40 projector here, and my $60 projector sitting over there. Oh, and I forgot, I got one over here. I paid $10 for it. $10 projector. Excuse me. It would be the cheapest projector I have here. $10. Well, that's it. And I use that garage with a quantum technology, quasar technology, to bounce an image off the back of a garage on a cardboard box. Which still, those challenges haven't been done yet. All right, let's bleed out a gray screen real quick. I'm a pepper, yellow pepper, cheesy pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? All right, so we're going to do gray screen. As I told you before, problem with the gray screen, why it's not TV worthy, is because the gray screen can't read a contrast level. And if you can't read a contrast level, that means you're not ambient light rejection technology. You don't have that capability. A 2.0 gain is extremely poor. It's very poor. Very, very poor. So 2.0 is usually what you find in white screens now. Upgraded white screens today have 2.0. Get out of there. They have 2.0. That's what they have. So 2.0 is not something to brag about. Let me see. Let's go over here and let's grab, we're on this keyboard, right? Yeah, we're on this keyboard over here. We're going to do this quick and fast. Let's go with some red. Well, first, let's go white screen first. Let's hit that white screen first. Let's hit that white screen. There we go. We should just call this new screen called the obsoleter. So that's pretty much what it does. So what this technology does is it actually generates a gain and a white level so high, being black, and have on its light at 300 lumens, that basically it causes a gray screen to basically go dark. Let's go over here and let's get some 4K snow screensavers. 4K snow screensavers. And this is the reason why when people say, oh, but the gray screen, no, it's not TV worthy. You're in the dark with it. I seen that thing on that P2 projector. That thing's always in the dark. Always in the dark with the lights out. So how is that a TV setup? And Optima wasn't selling it that way, as you see what Optima has, but Optima was never selling it that way. They sold it like a TV. That's why you walk in, the room opens up, you got all the lights in the environment, you get this massive 120-inch screen. They're selling it like a TV. It's designed to replace a TV. The problem is with the Optima, even though the projector does have amazing capabilities, it's the fact that you'll never be able to see it because the screen doesn't allow the projector to actually work. So on our technology, at a whopping 300 lumens, a 720p projector, QME Q2 projector, we basically have a technology here that can easily, and I mean easily, overpower a gray screen. Gray screen can't pick up its white levels, as you can see. Yep. Let's go over here and let's grab, let me see, get ourselves another one. Just going through basics. Let's grab ourselves another one. And we'll hit color, because I don't want to be on here too long. I got some things that I got to do take care of today. Let's go with, oh, forgot microphones and everyone on this side. On this side is I'm hunting for something. There we go. Let me see. 4K snow screensaver cottage. The gray screen, I don't know why they make you believe that it's supposed to be more superior screen. They even say things like they're more superior to gunmetal. No, you really got to stop saying that. You are not gunmetal worthy. You're just not. There's no way in the world that's going to compete with the gunmetal certified. No. Are you TV worthy? Oh, heck no. You're not TV worthy. You're not. My monitor can do stuff that gray screen can't do. I pick up a black level and accurate color. So not TV worthy. I can operate everything in here on any projector I have in here with no problem. I don't have to have a particular type of projector to hit the screen with only. That's what we call a crutch projector. It's a projector that they'll constantly use in demonstrations in order to pretty much keep their product looking a certain way. Well, we had that whole challenge. We had a challenge that went out that they had to swap out the projector for a 600 by 800 720p projector, and they had to do it for 1 year. They refused to do it. We did it. Let me see. Red screen. get some colors now. Remember I told you about any light in the environment or wash your gray screen out easily. So, as you see in this demonstration projector we have here, 300 lumens, is striking the screen with all the light. Our screen is picking up the color nice and bright. The gray screen's not reading it because the light in the environment is destroying the screen. On top of, like I said, these screens go dark when they get against the technology. Let's go get blue. Let's see. Blue screen. Same reaction. Now I had to do this this morning coming in. I told you I got some old friends that contact me, and they've been on my Facebook page and looking at all the new technology range. Like, God, you guys jumped a lot. Yeah, we did jump a lot, and they're interested in business. So I had to do these demonstrations to show them the difference, because we used to make gray screen paint back in the day, and I had to show them, look, this is the difference between our product and gray paint. We're back. Let's not forget that I used to make gray screen paints. So when I deal with old business contacts who used to work with us on our gray screen paints, they ask us, hey, so what's the difference between the stuff you have now and the gray screen paints you made way back? And this is what we show them. So I showed them the difference on how my technology is advanced. When it comes to the gray screen paint maker, they get all riled up toward us and say, oh, well, he just develops black technology. I was making your product before you existed. Some of you existed on YouTube, some of you were around, but some of you weren't. My timestamp date shows exactly how long I've been around. So with that being said, I was around a lot longer than a lot of you, and I made a lot of gray paint, a lot of it, which means I know how that stuff is made on so many different levels. In fact, I was even able to just look at a container of paint and tell it was going to match someone's paint. It matched, didn't it? Yes, it did. And we did it first. Guess who started the Network Gray 773? That would be us. We started it. That's the paint that I chose that was going to match his product. Was I wrong? Excuse me? No. It matched. It matched so well, he deleted the videos. So, there you go right there. You can go to Blacklist and check it out. But anyway, so basically making this stuff and having people who did business with me at that particular time, they're going to ask me, so what's the difference between this and that? And I'm going to say, well, this is the difference. The gray paint that we used to make back then doesn't read contrast. It doesn't read color correctly. It's just next to our new technology, it doesn't function. That's a common question to ask. Purple screen. You see none of the colors are clicking? Let's go over here. Let's do this one right here. Let's go over to our contrast. Starfield screensaver. Contrast level. Doesn't read. So technically, this technology we have here, the technology we have over there, the quantum, basically can blend into a gray screen. This one over here alters the gray screen where it becomes unwatchable, makes it dark. It beats its contrast levels, and it beats its color. So this screen can literally obsolete any gray screen. Or gunmetal. Doesn't make a difference. Let's see. Let's go over to LG Jazz demonstration. And there you go. Make sure all the colors. Watch it. Watch the screen. Watch what it does. At 300 lumens. I get so sick and tired of watching these demonstrations and these dark environment comparisons. Like, look, we're in the dark. Look at the comparisons. There's no light in there. What are you talking about? You got a light in the area. I was excited about this setup for me because I wanted to see if this screen could generate an image at 300 lumens at 6K of lighting wrapped around it. Because we usually use 25. Now we're at 300. And as you can see, it works. So if it can run in here with no problem, with all this lighting whatsoever, how much easier our technology can run in your homes. Mind you, we're in a commercial environment. People that are sitting in their homes or whatever setup environment they do, where they rehearse environments, where they change things around, People have professional setups, they control the environment, where the lighting goes. People that are doing these from their homes are basically in darker environments. We're in commercial, in a fully lit environment with all the lights on. With a halo system in the middle of like the screen at 300 lumens. And they're going to tell us the screen turns gray. All right, so this right here is the tile system we're working on. 32 screen paint, excuse me, we're going to have is going to be the Quantum Black, and the only one we're going to have is some kind of invisible for projector applications. Oh, I forgot, there's another. There's a spray-on version of the Quantum Black. Has a spray-on application for floors and stuff like that. That's what that's designed for. It's more concentrated, but it's also more durable. It takes a lot of punishment, a lot more punishment than the screens on the walls do, and they're weatherproof. So we're going to have that. It's a spray-on application. We only sell it in 1 and 2 gallons. You can use a Wagner 250 paint sprayer, stain sprayer. It'll work with it perfectly fine. Can you spray this directly onto your wall? Yeah, you can spray on your wall, whatever. But you can develop, you can put it for floors and ceilings. So that's going to be pretty soon. We're going to be showing that off. Let me see what else. And that's it. That's only 3. Everything else is all physical screens. Because with this coating, we can convert anything into a screen. Let's get you another one. This is going to be a kicker. Now, we did this one right here. Watch this. TLC 4K demonstration. Let's get some light colors in here. Let's see what happens with light colors against the gray screen versus our technology. And you'll watch everything have a dull color on it because it zaps all the color out of the gray screen. This is changing of technology, but yeah, I'm happy to be able to have a technology now that we can call a TV-worthy technology. Even though we have over here, it's definitely TV-worthy because we can operate quantums in fully lit environments with no problem whatsoever. We had a fellow who used it for a movie studio, a movie screen, and they were able to operate with no problem whatsoever there. So, you know, it just tells you at the end of the day that these are people that are very upset by our product, they're jealous, they're afraid of change and all that stuff. Change is good. Change teaches you things in life. It does. It's a life, a learning experience that teaches you how to do things differently. I don't know how people are afraid of change. You've been doing change since the day you were born. From the day you were born, you've been doing change. Everything changes. Your body changes, your surrounding changes, everything changes. So you should be adapted to change by now. To my friends, like I don't do well with change. You've been doing pretty well so far. You're not an infant anymore. You're walking. You're eating solid foods and everything else today. You speak, you talk, you understand. So you must know change. If you didn't, you'd still be in the womb. So you must know change. And even in the womb, you know change because your body develops. You come from an egg into a baby. Change. You're in constant change all the time. Maybe it might not be and change in ways where sometimes change can be bad, sometimes change can be good. I guess look at it in that way. But still, you should be used to change because you've been doing changing since day one. I love when people say, I've just when I think I've seen it all. But the funny thing about it is you will repeat that multiple times throughout your life. Because you technically will never see it all. Virtually impossible. Just like with us. I thought we would never have a black screen that would do this, and we have one. And it's only 15% completed. It's not even fully done. I had so many people asking me when to buy, 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 when to buy. When's it coming out? When to get it? We can't release it. And not until we get what we got to get done. This technology involves so much stuff. So it's going to involve this TV technology involves these panels we have here. The panels come in multiple colors, which we find out now this stuff we can color it and it doesn't affect it. It has a flex surface when we use for portable, for tabletops, for desks and stuff like that, for visual effects, special effects, holograms. It's just so much stuff this stuff does. It's unbelievable. Whatever we code it to, whatever different form of formulas we get out of it, and mine has a 67 skill trio sitting on top of it. 67 formulas can come from that. And they all have this kind of power attached to them. Isn't that impressive? I tell you, God is good. God is good. That's why we put our trust. We put a trust more than that. TCL 4K demonstrations. I put my trust in God because He's never led me wrong. Never ever led me wrong. Now, for those of you saying, well, let's take out the lights. Well, we'll take out the lights. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you something real quick before we run out of time here. We'll put it in their element. So I'm going to put it in their element, which should be, let me see. Take these out, because they won't be using that. Let's go to the light. Give partial lit. All right, partial lit. Now, like I said, I get gray screen. People with great products get mad at us. Look, I made it myself. I do it to myself. Every time I do this, we used to make this stuff. So I'm dealing with old clients, and I got to show them the difference between our old stuff versus our new stuff. This is what they're expecting to see. They're not going to invest money into my business if I can't show them a difference. People don't go by that. I don't know how people do business today. I don't understand how their world works. People are going to ask questions. If you think that no one's going to ask you questions, no one's going to basically question your product, you are sadly mistaken. People are going to question you on your product. They don't go by what you just said. You got to back that up to get that kind of status. So them buying my stuff way back then when I used to make it, it was gray, they want to see a difference. Anybody would ask that. Who in their right mind wouldn't ask that? So I put my own product in and they look, gray paint, this is what it does. Doesn't offend me at the end of the day. Why? Because I advanced my technology. That's what I did. If you didn't advance your technology, and whose fault is that at the end of the day? It's not my fault. It's your fault. You'll sit there and get mad and angry at me, telling me, oh, you're this, that, and the other. No, it's your fault. You were too lazy to upgrade your technology, and look where you're at. You know, spend the time to update the firmware in your projector, but you won't basically update your freaking products and then blame everybody else because it doesn't work. It's outdated. This technology right here outdates your product. So now the direction we're going in, we don't want to be affiliated with the tradition of projection screens. We'll start labeling ourselves under TV technology because we operate environments that everyday screens don't operate in. And when you make those statements, guess what that means? You got to back those up. So what I just showed a few minutes ago of me sitting here with a halo system wrapped around a screen at 300 lumens, you have to back that up. You can't even call yourself TV technology and you can't back that stuff up. Doesn't work that way. All right, let's get the gray screen out of there. Let me see. I got a migraine like you would not freaking believe. Lights in here are bright. Man, I bet you don't never suffer from headaches. Too much lighting. I do. Get out of here. So yeah, I do my own stuff. You know what I mean? But you know, they want to see a difference. I got to show them a difference. Can't just go, oh, I can't show you. I'm gonna offend somebody. Oh, what's that? I do my own stuff. Can't be in there worrying about offending somebody. Man. And this is why we have the right to call it TV technology at 300 lumens. I told you we're working more with the lower lumen projectors because you know why? They're more of a challenge for me. 2500 lumens is nice, but these projectors are fun to work with because again, it gives our technology more of a challenge to deal with. If we can get, like I said, if you get anything to operate at 50 lumens, you can get anything to run. And you can't do 50 lumens in the dark. I've really seen people do this with these projectors. They'll stick it right on top of the screen. They'll have it sitting in the dark and it'll go, look, it picks up. I can get notebook paper to do the exact same thing. Gray cardboard, sheets, anything can do the same thing. Got to show a difference. You got to have lighting in the environment. Remind you, you're doing with a projector that has a very low lumen count. So keep in mind to have it in a well-lit environment. It's not going to go well for that projector because the lumen count is extremely poor. And then on top of that, it's poor, but it's made for that particular projector. But consider the fact that the distance you're going to have it back, and as it's traveling through, how much lighting it's going to basically deteriorate 300 lumens. There's not much left of 300 lumens once you go through 6K of lighting. So that screen is operating on next to nothing, and it's able to run. It's able to pull a bright level that high. That's what people picked up on the forum site. They're like, well, gracious, man, because if you consider the fact that it's overpowering a screen that's lighter than it. The gray screen's lighter than my screen. It should pick up a higher white level. And mind you, at 300 lumens, and we're traveling across from this distance to here with this lighting that has to meet with, you would think that the gray screen would pull a much higher white level, but it doesn't. This one does, and it's black. It doesn't, there's nothing really left once that projector makes contact with that screen. The lumen count is pretty much next to nothing. That's why we test our products on this level. That's why we put them through this vigorous, brutal training. We don't fake it. If I darken the environment and I basically push that projector up and take those lights out and do all that stuff, who am I hurting at the end of the day? I'm hurting myself. I'm cheating my customers and I'm hurting myself. Got to test your stuff to make sure it actually does work. I've said this so many times on camera, it's not even funny how many times I've said this. And I'm going to say the same thing. When I'm in the showroom, I'm saying the same thing. Stuff got to be tested. 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 Or you just got a bunch of people on YouTube claiming something to be a TV-like technology and it's not even anywhere close to it. Just because it's ultra short though and it sits right up on top of the wall and produces a screen like a TV doesn't mean it's acting like a TV, because my monitor in here can operate in all this lighting and have no problem whatsoever. Alright. I'm going to do a short promo on this thing. After that, I got to jet out the door. Some stuff I got to take care of today. We have a screen coming out called Theater on the Go. The portable projection screen's coming out pretty soon. And the coding we have is going to be applied to it. So I told you we're working on these portable screens that came with these projectors. And we wanted to have it so a customer can set up, watch movies, sports, whatever, these little tiny theater room setups they can have, completely portable, take them anywhere you want to go. And now that's what we have right here. Yeah, we got them right there on the site. It's called Theater on the Go, Gaming on the Go. Gaming's got the flex screens we're working on right now for PC modifications and stuff like that. And now we got this whole new formula for our portable screens. And these are portable pull-out screens. So I found a company that allows us to put our name on it. We buy quantities from them, and we're good to go. We can get a couple of samples pretty soon. And these are going to be in, I think they're 40 and 50-inch portable screens that you can carry around with you. And with the technology we have here, man, you can run that with no problem whatsoever, even with a Halo system in there. But before we can get to that point of being able to make these screens available, we have to do the testing to make sure they're going to run. We have to know they're going to pick up. If we're going to replace the monitors on your desk, allow you to be able to operate right off your table and all that other crazy stuff, we got to be able to do all those tests. Tests are important. All right, people, hope you enjoy. Thank you for your time, for stopping by. Yeah, so we're dubbing ourselves TV Projection Technology. Hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. Of course, we thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for blessing us with amazing technology, because without him, none of this would ever be possible. Gotta go. Thank you all, and be blessed.